workplace. Small gestures are essential for creating a positive atmosphere in the workplace. A simple, polite greeting in the morning can help you start the day on a positive note.
So if we were to think of an incorrect example, that would be if you were to go straight to your desk, you didn't say hello to anybody, how's your day, there's just no greeting, and if you were acting really, really coldly. This can make it difficult to build friendly relationships at work. But if I were to think of a correct example, if you were to walk in and say, hey, good morning, how are you? How was the drive-in? I hope you have a good day. Make sure you put a smile on your face. That is so important. People love to see a smile. This approach, it contributes to a warm and positive connection in the workplace.
Well, and also at the end of the day, saying a polite goodbye helps strengthen your relationship with colleagues as well.
Yeah, 100%. If you get like a bad goodbye,
or not one at all, they just leave.
That would be
you like
exactly. You were 100%
we see each other
correct.
every day,
Right? Yeah.
Or
Friendly, yeah. You don't want to leave without saying goodbye to anyone. It can be perceived as cold and uninterested. But if you wanted to give like a warm goodbye, a warm departure, a good example would if you said, "Okay, good evening. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good drive home." Things like that.
Have a good night.
Right. This farewell, it shows respect and kindness towards your colleagues.
Noticing a change in a colleague's appearance, like a new hairstyle or outfit, and giving a sincere compliment, without being creepy obviously, helps create a kind and friendly communication.
Yeah, so as someone who changes my hair a lot, I hate when people come up to me and say, your hair looks different, it looks kind of strange, I like it this other way, it doesn't look good today, Right? It makes me feel very uncomfortable, and it actually leaves a negative impression for those other people to me. Right. But a good example, and I love when people come up to me and they say, oh my gosh, your new hairstyle, it looks great. It really suits you. I love it. The sincere compliment, it really helps bring happiness in me, and it makes me feel closer with my colleagues.
Well, as it should. When communicating with a supervisor or upper management also, it's essential to use polite language. Conveying the issue clearly while maintaining politeness is a fundamental principle in communication, in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%. If you were to think of a bad example or an incorrect example, you could say, there's a problem with this job. I don't know what to do. You handle it.
Oh.
Yeah, right? This statement, it doesn't offer a solution, and it actually came across as very rude, right?
Yeah.
Very disrespectful.
Well, I'm offended,
right?
Honestly.
Right? I was speaking in a directive and commanding tone, which is very inappropriate when you're communicating with senior management.
Where's the respect, right?
Right? Yeah, where's the respect? You're my senior. But to provide a correct example, you could say something like, hi, excuse me, I encountered an issue with this, and I'd appreciate your insights on a solution. I really believe that your perspective could help us provide and improve this situation. Right? And this phrase, it politely expresses that you recognize the problem, you are actively seeking a solution, and you value your supervisor's guidance, which is very important. And it shows mutual respect, and that's a solution-oriented approach, and that's very vital in communicating with managers, especially in Canada.
Let's look at another example.
Okay, let me try to think of another incorrect example. How about, we've been doing this all wrong, but you probably know a better way anyway.
The tone, the audacity.
Right? The audacity. This statement, it avoids responsibility, and it conveys a negative tone. Like, you know better than me, you deal with it, How rude of me.
Just ask for help nicely.
Right. But if I wanted to provide a correct or a better example, I could say, excuse me, I noticed a mistake on this, and I'd like to think about how we can correct it. I would love to hear any suggestions that you might have. And this approach, it really shows that, you're taking responsibility and you are actively seeking a solution.
Well, as a manager or a team leader, being kind and supportive when sharing information with the team members is also very essential. Instructions should be clear and respectful rather than demanding, ensuring mutual understanding and effective communication.
Yeah. And if I think of an incorrect example, you could say something like, you need to finish this project immediately. You're late. Right?
Wow.
How would you feel if your boss came and said something like that to you?
Came out strong,
Right? The statement, it was very commanding, and it can put undue pressure on the team member, possibly decreasing their motivation. And no one wants to be unmotivated at work, right? Exactly. Right? But if we were to provide a positive example or correct example, you could say, it's very important that you complete this project within the planned time frame. If you need any assistance, feel free to reach out. Right, and this approach, it emphasizes the importance of completing the project within a certain time frame, but it also offers support, allowing the team members to fulfill their responsibilities without feeling all of that like additional pressure.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Let's consider another example. I know I'm asking for too much. Just one more.
No, I love the examples. It's really, really good. Let's think of another incorrect example. I've gotten this one before.
Okay.
I hate it.
I'm ready.
Okay? Imagine your supervisor, your boss, says to you, "This work is in bad shape. You need to redo it." After I did all of that work?
The tone.
Right? The statement is so critical and accusatory, which it's harmful, and it harmed my motivation.
I felt underappreciated.
Right? I wasn't motivated.
In the first place.
Right? But if I wanted to provide a better example, I could say, "I see some improvement opportunities in this work. Let's review it together and see how we can make it better." Right? And this phrase, it points out areas for improvement with a collaborative approach, focusing on finding solutions together so that I'm not alone. Right?
Now I feel supported.
Exactly.
In summary, here are the main rules of Canadian kindness to keep in mind in various situations. Ask for permission before speaking with strangers. Always request permission and ensure the other person feels comfortable.
Yeah. You want to use polite requests instead of commands when shopping or asking for product information. You're doing this by fostering healthier communication.
Avoid pressuring customers as a salesperson. Allow them the opportunity to make choices rather than directing them.
You want to show empathy when speaking with an upset customer. Really make sure that you try to understand the situation and make a solution-oriented approach.
While in discussions, ask for permission to speak. Gently share your thoughts and actively listen to the others.
Greet your colleagues with kindness. A warm greeting can create a positive atmosphere, and it goes a long way.
Of course it does. And end your workday with kind farewells. Wishing your colleagues well helps sustain a positive environment.
Use genuine and kind words when complimenting others. Avoid criticism.
Address issues with supervisors in a solution-focused and polite manner. This builds constructive communication.
Share information with subordinates or team members in a supportive and guiding manner. Avoid applying pressure and maintain respect.
Well, finally, remember that a kind approach is not just a form of communication, but an integral part of behavior and culture. Close your eyes and imagine implementing these habits in your daily life.
Kindness is the key to building strong relationships in both professional and social life. By applying the approaches you learned in this training, you'll see how positively your relationships will be shaped. As you integrate these principles into your everyday life, you'll start to feel the power of Canadian kindness more and more, very, very strongly. Now, consider how you might apply these insights and share your experiences with us through these. Here we go. Oh, I understand. I know what this one is. Oh, I understand. I know what this one is.
Oh, I understand. I know what this one is.
The portal. We love the portal. Hit up the portal! Hit up the portal! Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Link. Not follow and subscribe. Link in the bio.
Shut 3, 2, 1. Now, consider how you might apply these insights.
Wait, we can't start.
Why not?
My head.
Jump. That wasn't kindness.
Okay.
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 Now, consider how you might apply these insights and share your experiences with us through these suggestions form on our quality portal, inspiring others along the way.